through storms, unshaken, unbowed. Through trials and verdicts, still standing proud. A titan in the tempest, against the raging crowd. He's got a vision for the future, gonna shout it loud. Changing the wind, it's coming fast. A new foundation built to last. Cryptocurrency's the key, make the big switch. Power to the people, time to teach the rich. Legal battles can't hold him, he's moving on. With plans so bold, from dusk till dawn. He's rewriting the rules, a new dawn's day. From the hands of the few to the people's way. Say goodbye to all chains, embrace the new.
Good morning, everyone. Well, particularly awesome Friday morning to everyone. Welcome to the Crazy Kryptonaut Show. I am Zester. And yes, I am definitely enjoying myself this morning with the markets. Man, it seems like you just can't go wrong with the markets today, whether it's crypto or silver. Doesn't seem like you can really make a bad choice. So very much enjoying myself. I hope everyone else is as well on this particularly good Friday. Hey there, happy Friday, Mile High Trish. Happy Friday there, Kukla. Good morning to both of y'all. XRP is definitely on the rise, Kukla. I don't even know where it stopped yet. It was still, oh my God, it jumped another 10 cents since the last time that I refreshed the page. It's currently sitting at $2.91. About 5 minutes ago, it was sitting at $2.81. I got a feeling we're going to see well over $3 XRP occur very, very soon. So that is particularly exciting. Let me get this page up and over here so we can be checking it out along the way. But yes, it is indeed. Mile High Trish says, oh yeah, and silver and Bitcoin, and yes. Mile High Trish, silver looking like it might hit $40 today. It definitely does indeed. Good morning there, Rain Man. Good morning. Howdy there, Nature Girl. How are you doing? And Nature Girl says, hello, everyone. Silver, 57 per ounce in Australia dollars, and very happy to see the quick rise in XRP and XLM. Absolutely, Nature Girl. Mile High Trish says, my little test Kraken account has gone nuts. The $10 for free Bitcoin has soared to almost $12. Feeling kind of rich? Hey, Mile High Trish making that money. And it's even better when you get the dollars for free. That's for certain. All right. Yeah. I'm enjoying chat. Crazy Chester, good morning to you. Good morning, Judy. Howdy there. Oh, good morning there, Yukon and Amy Jo. Kukla, love my MZ silver bar. No, definitely. Howdy there, Amy Jo. Jeremy H. Joseph, where is the next resistance on XRP? Jeremy, in all honesty, there's not really a technical analysis point of resistance on the XRP charts right now. What there are, and something that I'm a major proponent of, is that I've always believed that there are psychological resistances. And because I very often feel as if they tend to follow that. And so in my opinion, the next major resistance is the all-time high. Now, there will be a minor resistance at $3, which I have termed that as a psychological resistance. And that resistance is really just caused by people who see $3 and they start trying to take profits and they start selling off some. It's whenever you see those major mileposts, it tends to always have a little retraction right when it passes them. But in all honesty, the next major resistance, Jeremy, is going to be at the all-time high that was achieved back in 2018. And for those that are not aware on that one, the all-time high back in 2018 was $3.40. $3.40. And so that's where I really view the major resistance coming in. That will also be the first time in over 7 years that some XRP investors will finally be back in the green. Will be after a 7-year waiting period. And so I'm very, very excited for those people who did manage to buy at exactly the all-time high, because they will finally be able to start enjoying their XRP a little bit more. All right. Good morning, Jeremy. Good morning. Definitely a good day for some coffee and some mushroom tinctures. I didn't need my cordyceps this morning, though, Jeremy. The markets and the charts woke me up more than enough, but I still took it. Oh, an important one, especially when I get so excited about things like this. I might get a little willy-nilly with my words. Please remember that the content in this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes and is not intended to provide financial advice. Please consult with a financial professional before making investment decisions. Please do remember, my name is Crazy Cryptonaut. Online, that's the name of the channel. And so, no, I am not a professional financial advisor. Definitely an important one. Hey, good morning there, LG lady. Rain Man just refreshed. Silver sitting at $38.94. All right. Rosie Stamp. Hey, gang. Kukla, is there any way you might prompt Zester about the Lobster wallet question? I've tried a few times, but no luck. Have filled all those wallets under Whiplash guidance. Lobster, my arch nemesis in the crypto space is Lobster. But I'd be happy to try and help out on that one, Rosie. Just not certain if maybe I've seen the, I don't know if I've seen the question or not. So I'd be happy to give it my best go. Now, I would say, okay, all right, let's jump on it. Rosie Stamp, hey, Zester, do you have any intel on Lobster? I filled 4 wallets a couple of years back with the guidance of some Soul family who said that they were seized asset placeholders. Wondering if, I'm guessing is wondering if it was true. It was going to be where it just stopped you. It stopped you typing because of the message. Now, Rosie, when it comes to Lobster, Lobster is my, as I mentioned, my arch nemesis. Lobster is not in and of itself a scam. It's not. But Lobster allows for everybody to put their scams up on Lobster, which I think is particularly crappy. And so Rosie Stamp, I would go ahead and say that when it comes to Lobster, I would not trust them with anything. And I would not trust any assets purchased on Lobster. I have had, and so Rosie, does this ring any bells? I have had some people in the community who had tokenized diamonds. They were told that it was a representation of diamonds that were going to come into the future. That token was a scam. Most of the different ones on Lobster are scams. And so that does not mean, Rosie, that you don't have money over there. You may. You said you had 4 wallets. You easily could have gotten certain crypto assets that were legitimate, but I know from all of my intel on Lobster and from my experience with helping members of the community, when I hear Lobster, I always, because I'm always like, holy crap, I'm probably not going to be able to get them their money back. Uphold, Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, definitely superior to Lobster. No matter what problems they may have, they're definitely a safer option than Lobster. And so I would definitely say on this one, essentially, I'm going to need a bit more information, Rosie, about what it is that you bought. And do you still have access to those 4 wallets? Because if you have access, then we could go in and we could find out what all is sitting on there. You never know, Rosie. You may have some slam dunk winners sitting in there and have a bunch of money that you didn't even know about. But we'll just have to see if you can get access to them, Rosie, and then we'll be able to find out. Crypto Kenny, Uphold is my favorite. They are definitely XRP friendly. They are. I like Uphold. Uphold's is a good service. I haven't had any issues when someone has had a problem with Uphold getting it fixed. And that is, I would say, that's kind of a bias that I have that other people aren't going to have in the industry, because I help people solve their problems with crypto exchanges. And so I would say that's probably not that important to most other users, but it's very important to me. And so from my perspective, I've always been able to help, typically on Uphold. On Lobster, I have a success rate that is in the singular digits. It's in the single digits. Okay, I'm sorry. I love you, Tina, but if you keep getting in my lap, we're going to end up having to me go take a shower. So you have got to stop, little Tina. I'm sorry. Tina's wanting all the attention, and I'm already starting to have way too much of an itchy nose. So I'm sorry, Tina. We will play in just a little bit. I promise. I promise. And so, yes, I would just highly recommend we need to check, Rosie. Essentially, what we need to do is we need to go in and we need to see what assets you purchased on Lobster, and then we'll be able to see if there's anything we can do about it. But first things first, absolutely, Rosie, you need to get whatever is on Lobster off of Lobster. And I would put that warning out to absolutely everybody. If you have crypto on Lobster, please, 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 please get it off of that, whatever it is. Please do. I have a Lobster account. I've never had an issue using it, but what I have had and what I know is on there, and I know what the problem is that when you search an crypto asset on Lobster, it's going to give you about 50 different options. One of those 50 is the right one. The other 49 are all scams. And so it regularly does this on Lobster. There are 50 different versions of Stellar, 50 different versions of XRP, and 49 of them are scams. One of them is the right asset. It's very, very, very deceptive the way that exchange works. DJ, Coinbase too. Coinbase is the same idea with all exchanges. In the long run, you want to get your crypto off. But Coinbase, I've kept crypto and I've kept US dollars in Coinbase now for what, 7-8 years? Yeah, 7 or 8 years, and I've never had an issue. When it comes down to it, though, you just have to remember, not your keys, not your crypto. Whenever you are keeping your cryptocurrency in a service, somebody else's, they have the keys to your crypto. They are actually the physical holders of your cryptocurrency. And so I highly recommend, as soon as you've gotten comfortable on the exchange, that's when you start thinking about owning your own wallet. And so when it comes down to it, I know some people who keep all of their crypto in Coinbase. And it really comes down to a matter of your comfortability with the general process of moving your crypto around. And that's why I think it's so important to go ahead and start that process at the beginning of knowing where you're going to be storing your crypto for the long haul. And that's why you need Coinbase. You need an exchange. Because you need to be able to go from fiat to crypto and from crypto to fiat. And then I think that essentially once you've got that set up, next step is take ownership over actually where your crypto is stored. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm getting all distracted. I feel like I'm all the kitty cats want their attention today. Tommy is definitely, he's taken over his position. Scary how many scammers text me about Coinbase. Crypto Kenny, absolutely. Coinbase is probably one of the most common ones to get the email and the text scams that they're constantly sending out because, well, Coinbase has the most US users. DJ, got it. We'll move to my ledger. Yeah, DJ, it really does. And so, like, to give you an example of essentially how it works, like how I use this. And so last week, I deposited some cash into my Coinbase. It's been sitting there in Coinbase in the form of USDC for the past week. It's been slowly earning a small little interest rate from Coinbase for being in USDC, and it's been sitting there. I left that money sitting in Coinbase because I wanted to buy crypto if the markets went down. So I left that money sitting right there in Coinbase, ready to be deployed, ready to make a trade when I liked the market conditions. Now, judging by the price increases, that didn't end up happening. That money's still sitting there in the form of stable coins. And I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it there until I'm ready to make a purchase with it. After I make that purchase, say I buy XRP or Bitcoin or whatever, I will then remove that crypto and I'll put it into my ledger. And so essentially that's how I'm utilizing the service. Coinbase is a tool. The centralized exchanges are services. They're tools to be utilized and then put back on the shelf when you're done using them. And so that's how I do it. Money's over there. Money's ready to deploy. Money gets deployed. Crypto moves to my long-term savings, which is on my ledger or hardware wallet of any kind. Just to kind of give a real-world example of how essentially I use it and how I go back and forth between the two. Tommy, you look awfully comfortable, buddy. I saw a comment. Atomic Wallet did have some security issues within the past year, but I used to have an Atomic Wallet. It's kind of a cool service in how it works as an application on your computer. But I would have to say, Tabitha, that I'm not certain what has gone on since they had that little security issue. Crypto Arculus wallet is my go-to cold storage. Otherwise, I transfer to Uphold. Yeah. When it comes down to it, Crypto Kenny, I just care that people have a hardware wallet. What really it ends up being or which one you choose, it really is not as much of a worry. In my opinion, it's just ensuring that people understand the importance of having one. Why is it so important to have a cold wallet or have a hardware wallet? What does it mean to be the actual owner of your finances, which is genuinely something that is new to the world. We have never been the actual owners of our finances and of our property in the past. We have never been the genuine owner of absolutely anything, because no matter what it was that you owned, ultimately you owned it because the bank or the government said you did, not because you inherently owned it. And that's where I think it's a massive spiritual or mental shift that is going on in the world right now about what genuine ownership really means. And so, Crypto Kenny, don't worry at all on that one. Don't worry at all. Happy to see the comments and just happy to know that more people out there are keeping themselves safe. Whimsical Winders, how do you move XRP out of Lobster? Do you have to transfer to a hard wallet? Refer me back to the right podcast if you've already gone over that. All right. Whimsical Winders, I do believe that I have a video where I talked about it, but that video is pretty dated now. And so I may need to make a new one. I may need to, force my way back into the weeds that is Lobster and see if I cannot get that together. What I did have is I actually had a video. It's called Did You Know Lobster Wallet Tutorial and Review of 2024. That video does show you how to remove crypto off of Lobster. But what I would say, Wenders, about your other questions, do you have to transfer to a hardware wallet? No. You can actually transfer from Lobster to Coinbase or something of that nature. You could go to a software wallet. You don't have to go to a hardware wallet. It doesn't have to be its final destination. But I think that video should help. But I do think there's probably it's probably time for me to make an update to the Lobster video. Kukla, I don't think Tommy's moving anytime soon. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know certain what he's doing back there. Not certain what he's doing. He's having fun. What are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah. Tommy's joining us today. Hey, good morning there, Captain Spiffy. Tabitha, thanks, Esther. I moved a majority over to Coinbase a while ago, leaving minimal in Atomic. I'm glad I did. Appreciate your input. Happy to help, Tabitha. Absolutely happy to help. And now, sounds like you're sounds like you got this, especially if you were able to make the moves from Atomic to Coinbase and things of that nature. Sounds like you've got a pretty good understanding. Rainman 79424 Uphold versus Coinbase. I have both. I would say I use my Coinbase more often, but that's just because of how I have it set up. Uphold is very similar service. So Rain Man, I would say it's kind of hard to really pick one and say that it's better than the other. I would say they're both tools. Uphold sometimes has cryptocurrencies on it that Coinbase doesn't, and Coinbase sometimes has cryptos that Uphold doesn't. And so that's why I keep all of these services, because sometimes it's just better to go to one. Sometimes you're getting a better deal on one. Sometimes they give little special offerings, trade $50 this month, get $10 of free Bitcoin, stuff like that. I'm a sucker for some freebies. And so I would say both, I guess, but I do use my Coinbase more. But that's not to say that I'm still not using Uphold on a fairly regular basis. All right, Tabitha, when would we know when/if you need a hardware wallet/ledger? Oh, that's a great question, Tabitha. And really where I kind of always break it down to is, I know that this is kind of overly simplistic, but it's kind of the same argument that I use about a software wallet versus a hardware wallet. And essentially, Tabitha, when the amount of money, if you were walking around with an amount of money in your pocket or in your purse on a regular basis that would make you feel unsafe, well, think about your cryptocurrency in the same way. Once it's hit a point where it is an amount of money that you would be genuinely upset about, if you lost access to it, you should have moved it over to a hardware wallet. And that's really where I kind of break it down. It's that same idea of, at what point would you say, hey, I need to quit walking around with this money, I should go deposit it in the bank? Well, there you go. Your ledger is your bank. When are you at a point where you were carrying around too much for it to be okay? All right. Very soon, Kukla. Very soon. I should have waited to make any announcement, but do not worry. I will let everybody know as soon as it is up and running. Did not know how long it was going to take to go through this process. They made it out like it was going to be quick, and then it wasn't. But do not worry. I will get everybody updated on that one as soon as it's ready to go. I'm excited about it. All right, LG ladies. Esther, did you say Coinbase sends out a lot of scam emails? I often received a trade for entry. LG lady, Coinbase doesn't send out scams. What people do is they send out scams in the name of Coinbase. And that's really what goes on. It's not Coinbase scamming you. It's people scamming you in the name of Coinbase. They either guess that you have a Coinbase account or something of that nature. They send you, hey, your Coinbase account may have been accessed by somebody. And then bam, they trick you into giving over your information to them. And so that's how that one goes down, LG lady. It's not Coinbase themselves. It's scammers in the name of Coinbase. All right, there, guys. I'm going to run off to the restroom to wash my face very quickly, compliments of Tina. And so I will be 30 seconds. Okay. My apologies there. My apologies there. But I was trying to lose my mind, scratching my nose off. I don't know what it is about Tina. It's only Tina. Tommy doesn't do it. Tino doesn't do it. But Tina, holy cow. It's like I am solely allergic to her. All right, back at it though. Tabitha, thank you at crazycryptonautzester. Where do we obtain such a hardware wallet, etc., when we are ready? And so, actually, Tabitha, I do have a link with Ledger that gives you some free Bitcoin for using it, and you actually guarantee that you're buying it from the manufacturer. But what you just need to do, essentially, Tabitha, is ensure that you buy from the manufacturer. Do not buy on Amazon. Don't buy it in some store. Buy it directly from the manufacturer, and that way you will receive it with tamper-evident tape and everything else on it, so as to ensure that nobody has messed with it. But if you were looking for a ledger, that's the ones that I use. But in all honesty, there are tons of other good options out there. You know, there's Trezor, there's Tangum, there's so many other ones out there, but I tend to use the ledgers. And so if you do want a link for that one, I can throw that over there. And so there is a link for ledgers in case anybody wants to check those out. There you go. All right. Crypto Kenny Decent Wallet allows XDC. I actually have a video, and holy cow, this video still gets random messages sent to me. I put it out there, but I do have a video showing how to put XDC network onto your Ledger hardware wallet. It was very, very cumbersome. It was not easy, and so I think that's why people are so excited about the video. But just as a heads up, if Decent has an easier way, I would probably choose that hardware wallet just for that reason. Because yeah, it is a very awkward process to get your XDC onto a ledger. But I guess I'll also put that link out there in case there is anybody who is curious on getting it done. All right, though, let's go check our prices, guys. Everybody, we're getting distracted from the fun stuff here, guys. XRP sitting at $2.82 at the moment. Bitcoin sitting at $117,000. And where is it at? Stellar sitting at 37 cents, up 57.5% in the week, 27.6% in 24 hours, 7.2% in just the past hour. And so Stellar's chart is looking, well, particularly awesome at the moment. Particularly awesome. All right. DJ, Ledger comes directly from Paris, France. Yes, it does. It comes directly from the factory in France. Ledger is the largest hardware wallet company out there. It does not mean that the other ones are not good. It does not mean. Okay, Crypto Kenny, Decent is a hot wallet, not cold storage. All right, all right. Yeah, then yeah. When it comes to hot wallets, guys, I have hot wallets. Everybody should have access to a hot wallet, but it's not where you keep all of your long-term things in long-term storage at. MetaMask is my go-to when it comes to a hot wallet. I always have one. It's what I've always used. And so there's still plenty of reason to have them. You just have to remember, essentially, that hot wallets are connected to the internet. And so whenever I'm done interacting with this software wallet, I'm going to need to make certain that I go ahead and lock, disconnect from any services, any decentralized applications that I may be connected to. It takes a little bit more know-how, but hot wallets are free. And so there's a lot to be said for free things. LG Lady, expect XRP to drop for a buying opportunity. LG Lady, I'm really not certain. What we've had occur in the past 24 hours is essentially we've been getting all of this good news about crypto for months and months and months. It has been nearly a year now of never-ending, amazing news in the crypto space, nonstop. And what I really think we're seeing at this point is that it's almost like we've hit a pressure point. The bubble is popping. And in that regard, I'm not really certain where we're going to settle out and stop. The markets have, in all honesty, been pretty deaf to all of the amazing news. We've got so many different countries setting up strategic reserves, states, governments, corporations setting up Bitcoin and cryptocurrency reserves. We've got MasterCard partnering with Chainlink to bring crypto payments to 3 billion people around the world. And we've got non-stop amazing news for almost a year now. And I really think that what we're just kind of seeing is that we're seeing the steam get let off of the pressure cooker. And so where this settles out to, I'm really not certain. What I would say, though, is that I feel like what we need to start doing is we need to start making these things happen, because on Monday, when we were talking, I said that we were most likely going to see a new all-time high for Bitcoin in the month of July. And then, well, it happened a lot faster than I was expecting. And so what I'm also calling for is $10,000 XRP. Let's see if the world can make that one happen for us. But it is. We really are in uncharted waters. I think we're going to see a retraction, though. The biggest thing here, LG Lady, is we've had all of this good news, and we are in price discovery phase. The hardest part is going to be figuring out when, essentially, we're going to start seeing that price retraction. But we will. We will. I still think at the moment that we've got a little bit more room to actually run. Bitcoin seemed very, 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 very interested in the idea of breaking 119,000 when it tested it earlier today. And so we will have to see. We will have to see. I wish I could tell you exactly when, because I wish I knew, LG Lady. If I did, well, I'd be making quite a lot of money if I did. Broncos Freak, what is the difference between Ledger Nano X for $104 and Ledger Nano S Plus for $55? That's a great question, Broncos. Ledger X is able to be connected to your phone more easily. It has Bluetooth and a battery. And so it has more storage, and that storage is for applications, not crypto. I could keep a $1 or a quadrillion dollars on this. It doesn't matter how much storage it has. But what the X does have is it has a Bluetooth, so you can easily connect it to a phone or any Bluetooth-enabled device in order to verify transactions. It has a battery, which means it doesn't have to be physically plugged in order to be utilized. And it has more space for apps that you can use to do different things with your cryptocurrency. It also has a little larger screen for you to be able to see. And so that's really where the differences are, Broncos Freak. Where I tend to recommend it is if you want one, it's just more expensive. It does essentially the same thing, but if you use your phone for almost everything that you do with cryptocurrency, then it really does make a lot more sense to get the X. If you are perfectly good with using your computer to do everything crypto related, then I tend to just recommend going for the cheaper one. But the Nano X has a larger screen. It's more user friendly. You get what you pay for, essentially. But what you're paying for is just a more optimized user experience. I keep mine on the old ones. But, hey, I do everything on the computer, and I kind of like that they're just simple and easy, and that as soon as I'm done using it, all I do is unplug the device, and I'm done. Okay. Captain Spiffy says, so give me an hour, please. A 5-year plan, and it could possibly play a pivotal role. Hey, Captain Spiffy, no, definitely send along an email. And with the one-on-one service coming out there, I am certain we will be able to do that. Mike Everts, my daughter called me and said, don't use Uphold or a cold wallet because we will not be able to sell our crypto after the ISO standard. I can't find any info on this. Mike Everts, I have no idea what that is about. No idea. I don't know why Uphold or cold wallet would be an issue. What about a hot wallet? Mike, I would not be worried about that at all. I would not be worried about that at all. I would just be curious, maybe who she heard it from, just so that maybe I can watch and see what the person she heard it from is saying and maybe what their reasoning is. But right off the top of my head, doesn't make sense. Hey there, Frank O. How's it going, man? Welcome this morning. Yeah, Crazy Chess. Looks like the markets are taking a pause. They are taking a little bit of a breather at the moment. Everybody has switched back over to the red, and we're starting to see a little bit of a retraction. Just have to see how long it manages to keep going on. I'm still cautiously optimistic that we might see XRP break $3 today, but really we'll have to see what else comes out in terms of the news today, and things of that nature. All it takes is just one little bad press release from the right person to really mute a lot of these upward trends. All right. Savvy Nano S Plus said Android and laptop. I thought that's what I saw. Now I got to look again. Savvy, Android does have a much easier time because you can get an adapter cord to actually plug your Nano S Plus into your phone. And so Mile High Trish would be the person to ask about that one. She uses one of those and it works perfectly. I am an iPhone person. And a computer person. So I do all of mine on the computer, but I have heard from Mile High Trish that it works pretty awesome. All right, that it does indeed. All right, let's look at some of our news, though, guys. Let's look at some of our news outside of just, well, the market's all looking crazy. Trump, $100 million crypto investment shrouded in mystery. This one is making the rounds at the moment, about some Aqua One company that has managed to invest around $100 million worth into World Liberty Financial, the Trump cryptocurrency project, or one of the Trump cryptocurrency projects out there. And this really, and the reason that I have this one up here is because it seems like, coming from the Trump family, that we really are looking at a larger crypto strategy that is out there. The Trump social media group, they filed for a Bitcoin ETF. They also have purchased a centralized exchange company, and World Liberty Financial has bought decentralized exchange companies and decentralized software. It appears as if there is a far, far larger plan going on amongst the Trump family, and it seems as if different family members are picking up certain parts of the process, and different Trump-associated businesses are picking up different parts of the process. But this is one that I've been keeping an eye on, mainly just out of curiosity and trying to get an idea of what the Trump family thinks is going on and the financial future maybe that they're helping to build. And so Aqua One, I've got a feeling you're going to be hearing a little bit about that UAE-based foundation, because they appear to be a connecting line between a lot of these different moves by the Trump family. And so wanted that one to be out there so that others were aware of that name. Let me know if y'all see anything else going on with Aqua One. This was a little bit more of me asking for some crowdsourced research, because I think that there's an underlying thread here. I just can't prove it yet. So if anyone sees anything on Aqua One, please let me know. All right, though, back to the other news. Bears in disbelief. $1 billion in crypto shorts were wiped as Bitcoin pumps. Approximately 232,149 traders have been liquidated over the past 24 hours as the crypto market rallied to new highs. I know that I know that I guess they want you to feel bad for them, but I definitely don't feel bad for the folks that short the market and lose all of their gambling. Once again, guys, y'all know my opinion on leverage trading. I am an extreme opponent of leverage trading, especially in the crypto space, as it's really an unregulated portion of the sector. But, well, 232,149 different traders all learned the error of their ways in the past 24 hours, and nearly $1 billion was liquidated, primarily in Bitcoin. It appears as if it was $570 million in Bitcoin shorts and $206 million in Ethereum shorts were liquidated over the past 24 hours. Savvy, yes, indeed. They lost their shorts. They lost their shorts. They are running around. Hopefully they did not choose to go commando today, because that's going to get awkward. LG ladies, Esther, I have a little bit of Dogecoin. Is that different from the Trump Dogecoin for $199? The Trump Dogecoin is just commemorative for the Department of Government Efficiency. LG lady, I find it highly unlikely that it's going to be worth but so much, because bunches of people are going to buy them. They're going to put them on the shelf, and they're going to, wait. And 20 years from now, they'll be more valuable than they are today, but they're going to be collector's items, LG lady. I think they're just going to be collector's items. I could be very wrong, though. I could be very wrong. It may end up not being the case at all, but to my opinion, they're nothing more than the same idea as, collecting Beanie Babies. Which, hey, some people made a lot of money on their Beanie Babies, apparently. So, who am I to say who's right or wrong? All right. Bitcoin's new record lifts. Industry stocks ahead of crypto week in Washington. Remember, guys, July 14th has been deemed crypto week in the House of Representatives, where we will have 3 different crypto bills being discussed on the House floor, including the Genius Act, which is the stablecoin act that's already passed the Senate. This could be an extremely, extremely exciting time for crypto. I have a feeling that we're going to get a lot of little major announcements and quite a few sound bites that are going to be going viral around the crypto space in the coming week. I would say, guys, that as always, and I think that really the past 24 hours kind of makes that as clear as possible, that we are still not in a logical market. We had amazing news for a year. And yet for months and months, for 6 months, essentially, of amazing news, it could not move the market anywhere. And so we just had this pressure cook, or this pressure release, that's occurred over the past 24 hours. But think about it, it's not directly associated with anything. And so I think that this is going to start, or at least as of right now, this is the beginning maybe of a new cyclical trend of kind of a buildup of pressure and then a general release. That's what it kind of appears like today. But ultimately, we all have to keep in mind and remember that cryptocurrency had followed a 4-year cycle up until 2024. It has broken cycle. This market does not have enough history to be able to look back and make any major guesses about where we're going to be heading in the short term, besides somewhere. And so please keep that in mind, everyone, throughout all of this. And when you see things like the markets just suddenly skyrocketing, please remember to, stay calm and to think through logically on this one. Ultimately, we are in uncharted waters. It is still a very volatile market, and we do not know what specific day or what specific announcement is going to be the thing that suddenly makes prices change. We don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows. And the past 24 hours, well, they made that extremely, extremely clear. Nobody, and for no reason out of nowhere, the market just suddenly decided, bam, look, pressure is busted. We're going to break straight through our resistance levels. Tracy Chester watched a video with Kathy Wood of ARK Investments. She bought Bitcoin at $250 and expects Bitcoin to hit 1.5 million by 2030. Kathy Woods over at ARK Investments is definitely a visionary in the cryptocurrency space. She is an early adopter. Her and Michael Saylor of MicroStrategies really are probably the two biggest names in the Bitcoin space, or definitely the two biggest Bitcoin bulls. They always say the price is going up. But Crazy Chester, Bitcoin will most likely hit $1 million within the next 10 years. That really isn't much of a question mark. Not in my opinion. And of course, that is my opinion. But I've been calling for $1 million Bitcoin since 2017. And so I would tend to agree, Crazy Chester. I think Kathy may be a little bit in too much of a rush to say $1.5 million by 2030. But I do believe Bitcoin will be worth $1 million a piece. Absolutely. It's followed that trend since day one. If it maintains current market trajectory, who knows where it could genuinely stop. Bitcoin is probably going to stop when the planet runs out of money. All right. Looking to see. Hey, Beanie Babies. I have Beanie Babies. Kukla, I have Beanie Babies. Should I sell? Well, I do not know. I do not follow the Beanie Baby market. I don't know where that market's trending at the moment. I do not know where that market is trending at the moment. All right. Here was an exciting one, though. We had another appointment from the United States that the cryptocurrency world can rejoice to. And so, Jonathan Gould. Jonathan Gould is a blockchain or crypto attorney. Used to be an executive over at Bitfury, I believe. And he has now just been set into place, or was nominated and then was passed and then was sent over to Trump for his final signature to the Office of the Comptroller of Currency. And so many folks are extremely excited about this one because that is traditional banking. That is a traditional banking role. And we're seeing a cryptocurrency executive get placed into it. This really just comes back to what we've been talking about, where cryptocurrency exchanges and banks are the same thing. And we're going to start seeing these financial worlds collide. And we're going to start seeing banks that offer cryptocurrency services. And we're going to see cryptocurrencies or crypto companies that offer banking services. They're pretty much the same exact thing. And so I saw this as a particularly exciting sign of that prediction coming true, in that essentially we are now starting to see crypto roles being filled by bankers and banking roles being filled by crypto folks. This is only going to accelerate. And in all honesty, we really need a bunch of crypto folks in there at the moment who actually understand how this technology works. All right, on a small update, guys, on this one, Midnight Token. Remember, we've been keeping up with it because sometime during July, we're going to be able to claim our night tokens for being a crypto holder. Well, still has not been announced yet. It's still set for the month of July. And so at some point in this month, the Glacier Drop is going to open. I'll be certain to make everyone aware as soon as that does occur. All right, though, guys. Franco, I had the opportunity to get Bitcoin at $12 and passed, had no clue. Well, Frank, hindsight is 2020. Hindsight is absolutely 2020. I remember when the Bitcoin fountains were out there, you could get Bitcoin for free by playing little games. It was an entirely different time. And no, not many people had any idea. I think it's a very, very small amount of the cryptography type guys and the tech guys who really understood what they had unleashed at the beginning, because it didn't do what it does today. It was really just more of an idea on paper at that point in time. What's going on? I know a guy who bought in about 225. No clue as to how much he bought, but he isn't generous with his knowledge. Whimsical Enders, yeah. Hey, if you bought in that cheap, you probably stayed pretty quiet. Tabitha, I would say if you have gold/silver, cryptos, and currency, you can donate the Beanie Babies. I don't know. Maybe there's about to be the big Beanie Baby bull run of 2025. I don't know, but I would have to say I'm feeling pretty good about my silver and crypto today. Franco, at least I didn't sell to buy a pizza. True. All right, though, guys. I am looking at the time. We got done a little bit earlier today than some of the other mornings, but I am all out of news articles. And so if anybody's got any final questions, be happy to jump in and get some answers out there. But otherwise, I might, I'll go wash my face again because, I'm going to need to. Because I am still just itching like a madman. Yeah. And then I'm going to go back to watching the charts probably all day and seeing where this thing stops. Although we are on a precipitous retraction at the moment. XRP sitting 3.9% down in 1 hour, $2.74. Bitcoin dropping steadily, 116,847. GG, are you allergic to your cats? Maybe. I'm allergic to Tina. I don't know why Tina and not the other cats, but I'm allergic to Tina. I am. All right, though, guys. I'm not seeing any other questions. I am going to go run and get my face washed again. My apologies for ending. I hope we don't have a bunch of super important questions come in that I'm running off on. But no matter what, don't worry. I will be back again Monday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same channel. And so please, guys, love you all. Have an amazing, amazing weekend. And hopefully we get to see these markets continue to rise. But we will all find out together. Love you all. Bye-bye.